In 2018, Ireland won their opening fixture away to France in the 2018 Six Nations with a drop goal in the 83rd minute of the match. It was the first match on their way to win just the third Grand Slam in Ireland's history. Johnny Sexton wrote this in his book. Our reference point is the All Blacks game of 2013. We'd have won that day if we'd been able to keep the ball efficiently and legally through multiple phases. Let's look back on that day to learn why it led to victory 5 years later. By 2013, in over 100 years of rugby, Ireland had never beaten the All Blacks. In 2013 in Dublin, Ireland had gone 19-0 up after the first 20 minutes before being reeled back in. But they were 22-17 up as the clock approached red. Ireland were holding the ball to close out the match when, with 30 seconds of time left, Prop went off his feet at a ruck. The All Blacks kept the ball, attacked fiercely and at pace, with Sub Crotty diving over the line in the left corner. It was 81 minutes and 24 seconds. Two brothers played for Ireland that day, Rob Kearney at fullback and his brother Dave on the wing. This is what Rob wrote in his book about the crowd reaction. Both Kearneys got to share the numbing sense of death that descended on Lansdowne after the final whistle. All you could hear was the silence, and the effect on the players, again from Rob, it was the most emotionally shredded I have ever felt after a game. Jamie Heaslip, the Ireland and Lions number 8, wrote about the tactical impact in his book. Up until then, we'd done 3-minute drills, constantly attacking or defending, constant gameplay. But now the All Blacks had hung onto the ball for 4.5 minutes and worked their way up the pitch. It was hell mentally as well as physically. When the squad met up again at Christmas, Joe Schmidt's review was microscopic and brutal. He dissected every wrong option. Rob Kearney described some of the scathing critique. In the last 3.5 minutes, we had 7 defensive errors. Sometimes you wouldn't have that many in a full game. The outcome was that Joe Schmidt became obsessed about the closing minutes. Brian O'Driscoll spoke of new and intense drills, lasting precisely 3 minutes, 32 seconds, 15 on 15, open play at high intensity. In late January, after the pool matches of the Heineken Cup, the Ireland squad flew on a Monday morning to a training camp in Spain. The first full team meeting was on the Wednesday. As usual, the coaches held a planning session with all the players where they wrote up the goals for the campaign on a whiteboard. Let's put Ireland's position going into this Six Nation into context. Ireland had been strong but not dominant. Championship winners in 2014 and 2015, but no Grand Slam. It had been 9 years since their last one. So what did the players commit to? Rob wrote this in his book. We set out to win a Grand Slam and agreed not to be shy about it. No more doing what Irish teams do, saying we would give it a lash and we'd see what might happen. We planned to win it all. Maxime Machenaud and Mathieu Jalibert are France's starting 9 and 10. Jalibert is making his debut for France, aged 19. Machenaud is the veteran, closing in on 30. That's just as well as the sub-halfbacks are both youngsters too. Anthony Belleau, the bench 10, is 21. Antoine Dupont is 22 and not yet the superstar he would become. When Jalibert went off injured on 30 minutes, young Belleau came on for his Six Nation debut. France are still trailing until the 72nd minute when Teddy Thomas scores a try and Belleau converts to put them 13-12 ahead, the slimmest of margins. When France was awarded a penalty on the 78th minute, it would have meant Ireland would need a try to win the match. It was eminently kickable. Young Belleau stepped up to the tee, but the Six Nations debutant, with all that pressure, missed the kick. That meant Ireland had to score a 3-pointer to win, and they had the kick-off from the 22. Into the 79th minute, and Ireland has possession with a kick-off from their 22. 1 point down, all they need is a penalty or a drop goal. However, they have to regain the ball and hold onto it while they work their way up the pitch, and the conditions are poor and the ball is wet. Against the All Blacks, in the dying minutes, Ireland were defending a lead and trying to hold onto the ball to see the match out, but the referee Nigel Owens pings the Irish prop for going off his feet defending a ruck. Here's the thing. Nigel Owens is also the match referee in France. It has to be said that the odds are stacked against Ireland. Johnny Dropkicks left, and the first crucial part of the outcome of this match is that Loch Ian Henderson, the Ulster talisman, plucks the ball out of the air and regains possession for Ireland. That's bad news for the crowd who are baying for France to kill this game off, but France's tentative receipt of the kick-off isn't matched by their ferocious yet disciplined defence of their 1 point lead. On the 80-minute, Ireland has gone through 25 phases and are still in their own half. Keith Earls calls for a cross kick, and Sexton runs sideways and kicks high and lateral. Here's my confession. When Sexton shaped to kick, I was shouting at the screen, "Don't kick it away." I bet every Irish fan was doing the same. But hey, what do we know? Earls leaps with the French left-winger Vakatawa in close proximity. But Vakatawa doesn't jump, perhaps afraid of giving away a penalty. Earls catches cleanly and then steps inside the next defender. He makes it just past France's 10-metre line. He would later say to the press that it was his proudest moment in a green shirt. Yet despite Earls making good ground, France repel Ireland in the ensuing phases. Sexton wrote, "But the French are showing no signs of weakening. We have to send 3 or 4 into every ruck." The problem was that as Ireland players keep trucking up the ball, they keep getting tackled behind the gain line. They are going backward and end up near the halfway line again. All will be lost if there isn't a momentum shift. Once again, Henderson makes his impact. This is phase 39, and the big man's lungs must have been burning. But he makes a surge and gets Ireland up to the 10-metre line again. The forwards eke out more inches with the next few carries. Into the 82nd minute, the ball is midway between the 10 and the 22. Sexton is 45 metres from the post. Murray knows that he's on the edge of his range. Worse still, it's a wet surface. Murray wrote in his autobiography what he was thinking when he saw the matchday clock go into the red on the 81st minute. "I doubted whether we'd get it done. It crossed my mind that our supposed to be glorious 2018 campaign was already over after one match. Every metre was so hard, fought for that. Eventually you grind to a halt because there's nothing left in the tank. That's why me and Johnny pulled the trigger while we were still nearly 40 metres from goal. I was glancing over at him after every phase, waiting for his facial expression to give me the signal, and on the 41st phase he gives me the nod." Sexton sees Murray glancing back at him as the 9 arrives at every ruck. Now Sexton gives him the nod and steps into the pocket. But here's the thing, it's so far out that France doesn't expect the drop goal. A defender should be poised at the hindmost foot, ready to sprint for a charge down, but nobody takes that role. Murray sends the pass at speed to Sexton's right hip, who pulls the trigger for the drop goal. The kicker mostly knows when he's nailed it. Sexton is back pedalling hard, looking at the referee who hasn't signalled the drop goal. Suddenly Sexton isn't sure that the ball has gone over the posts. He realises that Ireland have sealed the win when he sees the Ireland players charging toward him. Bundee Aki is there first to jump on top of him, with the rest of the players piling on after. So that's my tale of 2 matches. 5 years earlier, Ireland had lost to the All Blacks in the dying minutes, because they couldn't stave off physical and mental exhaustion. Now, in Paris, they'd gone 41 phases deep into injury time and landed a drop goal from 45 metres out. The 3 minutes and 32 seconds that haunted them after 2013. That became their superpower in 2018. This wasn't just a win in France, it was the first step toward Ireland's 3rd Grand Slam in history.